In the heart of London, the Underground is more than just a way to get from point A to point B. It's a lifeline for millions, a place where stories unfold every day beneath the city's bustling surface. In January 2024, as the city braced itself for what could have been a paralyzing strike on the tube, the tension in the air was palpable. Workers from the Rail, Maritime and Transport Union had announced a sweeping strike, threatening to bring the entire network to a standstill. The city's usual hum felt different, tinged with worry and uncertainty as everyone waited to see what would happen. Among the crowds weaving through the labyrinthine tunnels that week was Layla, a hospital nurse who relied on the Underground for her daily commute. Layla's sister, Amina, worked as a customer service representative for Transport for London, and their friend Tom was a freelance musician who often played in the corridors of the tube stations, his music echoing through the halls to the delight of passers-by. That week, as rumours of the strike intensified, so did the anxieties of the trio. Layla was worried about getting to her shifts on time. Her patients depended on her. Amina felt trapped between her loyalty to her colleagues, who were fighting for fairer wages, and her personal responsibility to provide for her family. Tom, meanwhile, feared that the absence of commuters would mean empty pockets and quiet platforms. The three met after work one evening, squeezed into a half-empty carriage as they headed home. The conversation quickly turned to the looming strike. Layla, exhausted after a long shift, confessed her frustration. "If the strike goes ahead, I don't know how I'll get to the hospital. Patients need us. Why can't they find another way to solve this?" Amina, her face flushed with tension, responded, "But you know, it's not that simple. My colleagues are struggling, Layla. The cost of living is rising, and TfL hasn't been fair. If we don't stand together now, nothing will ever change." Tom, always the peacemaker, tried to lighten the mood, but even he couldn't hide his worry. No commuters means no audience, no tips. "I get why people are fighting for better pay, but I also need to make rent." The conversation grew heated. Old resentments bubbled up, and anxieties sharpened every word. Layla accused Amina of only caring about the strike because it affected her paycheck, while Amina shot back that Layla didn't understand the pressures of working for a public service constantly under threat of cuts. Tom, caught in the middle, felt the weight of both arguments pressing down on him. In the days that followed, the city held its breath. Media outlets warned of chaos if the strike went ahead. Mayor Sadiq Khan had long warned of the financial black hole facing London's transport system. A £1.9 billion deficit made worse by the fallout from COVID-19. Without additional government funding, services were at risk, and workers' demands for a pay rise became a flashpoint for wider frustrations. Then, at the 11th hour, a breakthrough. After intense negotiations, Transport for London offered a pay rise 5% higher than previously proposed. The RMT union suspended the strike, and the city hailed in relief. Trains kept running, and life on the Underground resumed its familiar rhythm. But for Layla, Amina, and Tom, the scars of their argument lingered. The crisis had forced them to confront difficult truths, not just about the pressures facing the city, but about their own lives and relationships. On the one hand, Layla saw how easy it was to take public services for granted, until they were threatened. Amina realized the toll of always having to choose between solidarity and personal responsibility. Tom, drifting between their worlds, felt the uncertainty that so many Londoners faced. A few days later, the three met again, this time in a quiet cafe above ground. The air was lighter, the tension eased. Layla apologized for her harsh words. Amina admitted she'd been scared too. They talked openly about how financial pressures could twist even the strongest bonds, turning friends and family into adversaries when resources were scarce and choices hard. Their story is a microcosm of the city itself, resilient, complicated, and always moving. In London, as in life, crises come and go, but what remains is the need to listen, to understand, and to hold on to each other, even when the ground beneath your feet seems to tremble. In the end, it's not just the trains that keep the city running, but the people, their struggles, their arguments, and ultimately their willingness to forgive and move forward together.